Hi everyone.
Hi.
So this is our last video on lessons in dealing with grief. We haven't done videos in the past few days, but we thought it would just be a good idea to end off our series in speaking to you about triggers. Now,
Yes.
for those of you that don't know what triggers are, these are things that happen that takes you back to that moment when you heard the news or when you went through some kind of traumatic experience. Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even know that it's happening.
Sometimes, I think most of the times.
Yes, I think it will take, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, or it takes a time to realize what's actually going on with yourself. The first thing that you have to know about triggers is that it can happen anytime. Don't think that if you've been if there's a time that passed after you lost somebody, or a year has passed or 2 years has passed, that you won't get them. It can pitch up anytime. And I just want to share an example of that happened to myself with my dad passing away. So we lost my dad, and then I think 2 years passed. And then I was part of this theatre production, like stagehands and helping with the decor and stuff. I worked for them for a few months, and so one night we were busy on stage, and in the time where the lights kind of dimmed on the stage, this one girl ran into another guy and she cut her whole eyebrow open. And then she asked me if I can go with her, because they said she's supposed to, the ambulance was coming to take her to hospital to do some stitches. And she asked me, can I go with her, because she has a phobia,
Yes, a fear of
stitches, something like that. And I said, yes, well, I'm keen, I can go with her. And I remember we walked out of the theater and the ambulance was waiting outside. And the moment I went through the doors and I saw the red lights going, lighting up this whole place, just red lights going. Something happened, and I wasn't sure what happened inside of me. And in that moment, I decided to just, put that aside and just focus on her and be there for her. And we went to hospital, and she got her stitches, and we came back. It was about, I think, 11 o'clock, 11:30 at night. Went back to our hotel rooms, and when I got into my hotel room and I closed the door, I just started weeping, like uncontrollably. I remember I was so tired. I just wanted to sleep, and I couldn't stop crying. It's like I couldn't control my crying. It just wouldn't stop, and it went on for a long period, into the morning hours, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Every time that I would think, okay, here we go, sleep now, it will just start all over again. And I realized that the thing that happened was
the lights
of the ambulance was a reminder for me of the time that we got our phone call from the lady staying next door, and we went to my parents' house, and as we came down the road we saw the lights of the ambulance. So sometimes it's not even something direct, like somebody passing away in front of you, or an old man looking like your dad walking next to you, or in our case with Selah, somebody holding a small baby. That would be the obvious things, but sometimes it's just not that. It's things in the moment that you didn't even notice or realize that you noticed. Like, I took the lights in, but I didn't realize that I took the picture in of the lights, with the ambulance in the street. So It got stuck in my mind, but I didn't realize that. So I think the easiest way for you to recognize that it's a trigger happening to you, I think a lot of times, especially with us women, when we feel a bit down, or we feel like we're not that happy today, we feel we're down in the dumps, we normally, would take it back to hormonal things, it's just one of those days. But you need to ask yourself, is there something in the way that I'm feeling that reminds me of something that the thing that I went through.
Yes.
Also with Selah the other day, we something actually good happened to us.
Yes, sometimes it's even good things that happen that can
Yes.
trigger a traumatic experience that you had, you know.
Yes, and we had to make all these decisions, by ourselves. We couldn't talk to people around us about this good thing that was happening at the moment.
That's busy happening.
Well, that's busy happening. We couldn't speak about it, but we had to make decisions in this time, which is all good things and exciting things.
And you actually told me that you cannot understand, even
Yes.
though this is good.
So exciting, I feel kind of so down. And then when I sat for a moment, I realized, okay, it's because we can't just tell everybody now,
Again, something that we're facing on our own.
On our own as a
Yes.
couple. And that was the trigger. Like when Selah passed away, although there was people around us, we couldn't, it was just actually me and Harriet going through it. It was our baby.
Yes.
So that was the trigger the other day, and I realized in that moment when I actually spoke to Harriet, and I said to him, I can't understand why I feel so down when something so good is happening. While I was saying that to him, I realized, okay, yes, it's that thing of, we as a couple, we do something.
Yes.
We're doing something. So whether good or bad. So yes, so don't feel, even if you've experienced those times where you don't, feel 100% or doesn't understand your emotions, that moment where you feel like you don't understand what's happening to you, go and put a question mark in what's happening at the moment, and search through it, and you will find something that's
Yes.
connected to what happened to you. Yes.
And so at the end of this, I think what we want to leave you with is triggers will happen, but what we want to leave you with, let this bring you closer together.
Yes.
If you're a couple going through this, let this bring you closer together. If you've lost a loved one, allow this situation to bring people closer together, because you can't face grief on your own. You need support.
Yes.
And so for us, this brought us closer together as a couple, and we chose that it would bring us closer together. And so we pray that this series has blessed you. I mean, grief is messy.
Yes.
So the only thing that's definite about grief is the start of grief. But we hope that this encouraged you, inviting you into our lives. This was not a psychology course or a book or a step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No.
This was just inviting you in and sharing our experience
Real
with
life
you.
experience, yes.
Yes, and we really hope that this has meant something to you, and we are looking forward to the other journeys that we are going to take with you.
Yes,
So
we're very excited. We actually have something coming up. We're working hard on it, but you will hear all about it in the near future.
yes,
And if you feel like you know us, or obviously if you're watching this, you know us already, you've heard our story, but invite friends and people, to just, or share this with them, invite them to our page. We would just like to, the good news is coming, so yeah.
yes. God bless you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.